All right, so right now I'm going to talk about what is meditation, and I'm going to talk about what we truly fear in life, and how really recognizing this and seeing this deeply is quite an intense and rather quick portal to freedom. And while the freedom of any individual unit of consciousness there's no particular rhyme or reason, ultimately, if you are led to information that resonates with you, it may very well unlock something in you, because it's only in your awareness, because you're in the proximity of it, right? So, what is meditation? Essentially, meditation is the absence of escape. So the willingness to be with what is here without escape. And if escape is a fact, we're with that, right? And that means if I feel myself avoiding the sensation of aloneness, and I start to tick, 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 and maybe I start to distract myself in some way or go into activity, okay, I see that, and I see it with love. Now, if you can get to the point where you are with raw sensation, right, when you have made contact with the energy that you have been escaping your whole life, whether it's the sensation of aloneness, whether it's what the mind calls panic, what we are really experiencing is just sensation, and the mind takes life energy and ties it into a knot and turns it into negative emotion. So whereas we might be receiving very high frequencies of light, if we are afraid of light, we will interpret it as anxiety. And then that interpretation, that meaning, that resistance will cause turbulence within the system. So meditation really in its essence, of course, is being fully with what is here. And ultimately what keeps us in the realm of philosophy and theory and really not actually truly free is that we avoid sensation. We are crafty escape artists. I mean, to the most, actually adorable degree. We have crafted ways to avoid sensation. And really, when you just decide that you will no longer run from sensation, when you feel that in whatever way you are avoiding a feeling, whether it's because you're in your head, whether it's that you notice that you're going to book another trip, or you're going to call your ex, or you're going to call a friend right now because you can't be with a sensation, well, it might be a good time to go into it, because ultimately, whatever you do to cover it up or distract yourself, you are just prolonging your freedom. Because what happens is that the sensation is there vibrating, right? And when you feel it fully, when you are at one with it, it is revealed to be mystical energy. It's revealed to be life energy, because without the mind resisting it, it's just energy. And the same can be said for pain, physical pain. I know I've had very intense physical pain throughout my life, whether it's in the stomach, in the migraines, things that are very, and really the depth of relaxation that one can sink into can diffuse a tremendous amount of discomfort. So really, ultimately, what we are running from, the reason why we escape so much, why we spend so much energy imitating other people, escaping our feelings, covering up, how wretched we actually feel, how angry we actually are, is because we believe that some image of what it means to be perfect or spiritual or good is more, we desire that more than we desire reality, which may be arising as a sensation, right? But the thing is, because everything is God, everything is mystical energy, everything, I remember Krishnamurti, one of my favorite things he's ever said is, the most mystical thing there is what is. Because everything is light. And without the mind distorting it, categorizing it, calling it bad, unconsciously calling it bad, you know that you think something is bad if you're always trying to get away from it. And in large part, that is the world of sensation. So when somebody that I've spoken to, I had a friend, that I spoke to every day for 10 years. And when that friendship kind of ran its course and ended, at first, the absence of that connection irritated me and agitated me, right? And when I felt the need, right, when the thought arose, right, because when you avoid the feeling, it arises in the mind as a story. Then I wanted to project onto her that I was angry at her. I was angry at her. You're making me feel this way. We had a connection. We were such good friends. Like, why did you disappear? And it's human, and have love for, like, we cherish, while ultimately, detachment is wise. Attachment is not dangerous, because if you allow yourself to love somebody in a very human way, but you're not afraid of emotion, then there's nothing to fear. Go ahead and be attached to someone. Go ahead and love somebody. Go ahead and cherish somebody in the most human way. There's nothing to fear, right? When you know simultaneously that things come and go, and that everything is you, but also that in your separate perspective, you deeply cherish the company of another, that can all be simultaneously part of your experience, right? It's not one or the other, it's everything. So ultimately, what we fear is sensation. So, I gave the example of, in another talk, of like, if you were not picked up from school on time, and so your mind has associated being alone, right, with not eating anymore, not getting a need, never having connection, love, security, warmth ever again, right? You're going to avoid it like the plague. So that will look like in your behavior constantly connecting to something, whether it's social media, whether it's a person, whether it's your mind, whether it's your, whether you are still enamored with the dialogues you have in your mind. And I acknowledge that some people's minds really are here to, like, digest and process reality in a particular way so that they can share it with others. But there's a feeling of stress, and there's a feeling of, it's like a lack of harmony and a lack of feeling at rest that, drives a person, right? You can feel that when a person is in the mind, they are afraid of feeling sensation in the body. So I like to reduce the fear factor of this and make it, I've mentioned a book, I read it a long time ago, and I don't remember what it said in particular, but I remember the emphasis was placed on a term called importance. It's called reality transurfing. And basically, right, if we have this story that even some Instagram psychologists and, this story, like, feeling is really hard. And I don't want to gaslight anyone and say that feeling is always easy. Feeling might be physiologically difficult. Like, I like to be accurate and say, like, not call things hard or easy, but something more accurate. Like, it might be physiologically uncomfortable. Like, that's less resistance. What your mind categorizes as difficult, it will avoid. It will avoid, right? Unless, you might actually enjoy the feeling of being a hero and overcoming something difficult. That's what a lot of people in shamanism, and I can't speak for all shaman. I mentioned before that I do shamanic work, which it's not a word that particularly resonates with me. But, and I'll go into this in another talk, but for me, the whole idea of, overcoming your lower nature or getting rid of demons or entities doesn't make any sense to me, because what attracts all of that anyway is a belief about yourself, right? Is a belief about myself, or it's a desire for power that would attract a being that wants the same. So, you might have that identity, like, I want to overcome, let's make this really hard. And I'm not judging anyone, but if what I'm saying resonates with you, take it or leave it. Contemplate the possibility that perhaps we can make it simple. We can distill it into a simple process where feeling my emotions may include physiological distortions. It may include blurry vision. It may include heart palpitations. It may include a rash on your face. It may include stomach pain. It might include the sensation like you're going to pee yourself because you're reliving just one moment that has been playing out your entire life. But wouldn't it be nice to go through that gate, so that your 3 and 4 and 5-year-olds are no longer creating your reality. Mind you, the 3 and 4 and 5-year-olds that sometimes want revenge on the parents, so they create illness, or it's to drain the resources, or they create chaos to receive resources that they don't believe they can get without creating chaos. So it's like, really, let's make it simple and say, look, what we are avoiding is sensation. The child assigns meaning to sensation, catastrophizes a sensation of aloneness, or a sensation of, okay, somebody didn't like me, so rejection. Rejection means I have no place here. Rejection means my expression, I cannot express myself, I cannot speak, I cannot act. And while that's very real, right, it doesn't have to be while we are adults, while we can awaken to the impressions that are operating through us. So if we made it simple and we said, okay, if what we are really avoiding is a sensation, right? It's like, what if there is a loss in your life? And that might very well include a feeling of numbness, a feeling of low energy, right? People tend to avoid low cycles, and by low, I mean cycles of no productivity, which I don't even think is a good way to, it's not accurate. It's a gestation period. Right? It's ironic to me. It's not ironic. It's actually not surprising at all that women who get pregnant, especially women who were on strict diets or had strict habits and they weren't very easy on themselves, when they get pregnant and they finally allow themselves to relax and they're like, I love being pregnant because I can eat what I want and I can rest when I want. Like, why is that? Because that's what we all want. We all want to be in harmony with the way that life is flowing through us. So again, let's make it simple. Sensation is not necessarily comfortable at first. But if we can relax enough, and I'm saying I've demonstrated this a few times, if you can locate where there's a tightness or a contraction occurring, and it's almost like all of your awareness gets totally absorbed in that area with love. So let's say it's the throat. So I feel all of my awareness just absorbing right on this side of my throat and spreading out. And I don't try to push the energy around. I don't try to change it. I just put my love there. And be careful, you can fool yourself and say, I'm loving something, I'm allowing something. You're still subtly trying to push it around. So if you just allow yourself to, okay, where is it? I am a grid of light and there is a part on the grid where there seems to be some tightness. Let me put my attention there. In relationship, it often tends to be a heat in the solar plexus, or it can be a feeling of coldness in the lungs, depending on whether your reaction to stress is to kind of retract your energy and maybe dip in energy, or to react and explode. It might feel either like heat or cold. So, where's the heat? Well, there's a heat in the solar plexus. I feel it ticking. I feel myself. I feel a thought arising in my mind where maybe I want to hurt someone. Maybe I want to say an unkind word to someone. We set other people up to feel how we feel. So if you are feeling lonely and then you get mad at someone for not interacting with you, maybe an intimate partner, and then you withdraw your love from them, you're trying to make them feel how you feel. You're trying to abuse them in the way that you perceive yourself to be abused. Look at that. Look at that when you try to withdraw your attention, when you try to end a conversation quickly, when you might tell yourself that you're actually respecting that, okay, you don't want to respond right now, but the reality is that there's an energy there of you're playing a game. You actually want to keep them, a person, hanging because you want them to feel how you feel. So while I'm not advocating self-condemnation, what I am saying is, let's be real. Let's be very real. Whenever you are in an activity where you are causing harm like that, whether it's in your mind or in your actions, you're avoiding a feeling. You're avoiding that you feel lonely. You're avoiding that you feel abandoned. You're avoiding that you feel helpless. how freeing is that? So what do? You go into the sensation, and the sensation might be different for everyone. I can't say that loneliness feels like this, because guess what? A different person, a different child may have experienced a sensation that might have felt different in my body than in your body. Might have felt hot to me, might have felt cold to you, might have felt like a catastrophe to me, might have felt like despair to you. So the way that it manifests in your body might be different. I would get curious and go into it, and be curious and kind of allowing of letting that energy unfold itself. And what you will find, if you make this your main spiritual practice, and of course, don't listen to me or anybody, be your own authority, but what will happen is that so much energy will free itself, and your life will start changing automatically without effort. If the only effort, if your intention was to be keenly aware of what is going on in your chakra system mostly, right? It could appear in parts of your body, but your chakra system is your personal mind. Your attention there, right? And so your willingness to stop avoiding and escaping sensation will free so much nuclear energy that things will radically transform. But more importantly, you will be free. So in a nutshell, okay, we are avoiding sensation. We are avoiding sensation. Meditation is going into sensation without escape. Or alternatively, if the level of consciousness that is available to you is noticing that you are escaping, wherever you are, that's meditation. But at some point, right, simply observing and watching things unfold, watching the mind create form from an observer's point of view, it will start to feel lackluster. It will start to feel like there's something more. And you'll merge yourself into it. You'll press yourself into it. And then the energy then that is alchemy. That is alchemy. It's not just observing. It's not, you can contemplate concepts forever, but if you don't actually go into the lower nature energy, it will continue to run you. You will see through those eyes. You will create from that understanding. And while none of it's bad, is it what you want? Do you want to be free or not? If you want to be free, you must stop escaping sensation. That's all it is. Reduce the fear factor of it. Make it simple. I am escaping sensations because my mind has assigned negative meaning to them, and maybe to such a degree that it feels physiologically difficult. So if I just begin to see, oh, that's all it is. That's just how the mind works. Oh, let me somatically go into this experience. Well, take that pill and call me in the morning. I'll let you discover it. But that's the deepest, that's the most important meditation I have ever practiced, and something that I practice all day. And take it or leave it. But it's remarkable how much more bandwidth you have accessible to you when you are no longer confined to the universes of your 2-year-old and your 3-year-old and your 4-year-old and your 5-year-old. Actually, all of their innocence, love, purity, and creative energy becomes available to you, instead of them trying to get your attention, always pulling you out of the present moment. So, have a good day.